Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Friday to all those who are watching us on today. I have a wonderful, magnificent guest on my show today, by the way, by the name of Minister Chris Womack. You guys know him as Chris out there in Wilkinsburg, Tiger Town, Tigers for life. I have him on my broadcast today. We're going to be talking about a lot of great things. I want you guys to support the event that's coming up in June, on June 3rd. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's Golf, Not Guns. Let me tell you about Chris for those who don't know. Chris is an ordained minister and accomplished speaker, youth advocate, recognized for reputable personality in the field of youth services, born and raised in Pittsburgh, PA, and educated in the Pittsburgh public school system. He's now living in Boston, but he's doing magnificent works out there in Boston. Now, let me give you just a shout out to all the things that he has done. He is doing his service, whether through job, volunteering, or a church position, has caused him to gain appearances on BET, yes, Black Entertainment Television, and also the national news stations in Germany, Japan, Britain's British Broadcasting Corporation, which is BBC, and the Netherlands. Chris has been involved in a lot of great things out there in Boston. He has been in workshops, or has been the head of workshops that are speaking about ending incarceration, working with proven risk youth, and educating Black male youth, peace and reconciliation. And Chris is also going to be involved in the Monday, June 3rd event with Golf, Not Guns. I'm going to bring Chris to the stage really, really quick. He is very well versed in a lot of great things. His education is phenomenal, and you guys all know that is true. He also has some highlights that he has done. He was introduced to a performance management program in the city of Boston's Youth Unit Division. He's also re-engineered and transformed delivery of technology services by introducing unique Beeper code system structured in emergency crisis. He's initiated and led teams in Boston in the public schools and identified opportunities in streamlining different types of procedures in the school system out there in Boston. He's also mitigated gangs-related conflicts in Boston and in the streets. He's well known to be very adverse at a lot of things that he do, and y'all know him from the Bird. Here comes Chris Womack. So don't forget to join us as we get geared to be dealing with the Golf Not Guns third annual thing that's happening on 2024, and it's in lieu of Daddy Woe. So here's Chris.
Hey, good morning. Come on. Good morning, everybody. Love all my Tiger people, because I know y'all all chime into positive vibes with Trey Lou. And just to get it out the way, my mouth is under construction. Y'all hear construction going on in the background. And until I get my Denzel Washington fix, I'm going to just keep the mask to cover it up. Because I grew up handsome, and you don't want to traumatize people by them seeing a raggedy mouth. So we won't do
that. Right. So, Chris, first I want to thank you for coming on Positive Vibes. We've talked about this for eons, and we finally made it happen. Well, God finally made it happen. So we want to give honor to God for this day that he's allowed us both to see, because without him, we would not be here, we would not be breathing, and we would not be able to share this beautiful information regarding the Golf Not Guns third annual anniversary. So this is the third year that you guys are doing this. Tell us about your experience with Golf Not Guns.
We're doing this horizon broadening, particularly for gang involved, court involved, street involved, the marginalized and the disenfranchised, to give them something. We've done basketball to nauseum. We've done basketball tournaments out the wazoo, but we have never introduced golf to this population. A lot of people in the amateurs and the pros are trying to get into the urban arena and introduce golf to the young people. The veterans, if you will, in the military for therapeutic purposes have introduced golf. And most of the golf that a lot of people who come from urban environments have done has the wrong thing with the golf club. So we're trying to introduce the right thing to the golf with the golf clubs through horizon broadening with a specific population. So when you support this event, if you can't come, send a sponsorship. And I see here on the bottom of the screen, we left out the G with the email, Chris chrisGwomack 7. Everything is perfect. Just put the G right in between the Chris and the Womack. chrisGwomack, so I can see the emails. Put your name, because we're going to tell the young people that's how they got a chance to experience this. Because we know urban youth that are accustomed to something in new horizons, they're not going to spend money to come play golf. They're not going to do it. But if you sponsor them, I can get them to show up. Here in Boston, because of the gangs, I told people, do not invite any gang members. Don't do it. I will have enough people from the urban experience there. You don't have to do it. What I'll do is put them on teams with people and surround them as we're on positive vibes with positive people that could be able to whisper in their ear and show them more people are concerned about you not going to a cage or a coffin, just like Brother Chris. Y'all see it on my hat? All the kids call me Brother Chris. And, they always, because I treat them like a brother, and I could reproduce brotherhood because I grew up with 11 brothers and 4 sisters. So you could reproduce after your own time. And so that's what I do with the kids. And that's why, even down to, you see the security title underneath me, 2 former rival gang members that went to jail for murdering each other's community are now working long side by side with one another in a foundation giving back to those coming home from incarceration. It's a beautiful thing. And we are expanding that to hopefully raise enough money so we can continue to reach out with, as Tracy was saying, so many endeavors I'm in the community to try to institutionalize wraparound services for young people. We need our own farms. We need our own schools. We need our own financial literacy that we're teaching them. We need our own mental health clinics. And that meeting is going on right now to even start a mental health clinic, because we've normalized a lot of things that should not be normalized in communities of color.
Right. Now, Chris, quick question. I want to talk about the payment methods and things like that so that we can make sure when people are registering, they know exactly all the payment methods that they can utilize when registering for this. And like you said, it's always good to pay it forward and make the donation for someone that cannot come. You can pay, register and pay via Cash App at $chrisGwomack. And also you can send your money orders and you can send your checks, and make sure the checks are cashable. We don't want to be, sending no bounce checks. That's stealing. And you can send those payable to God Soldiers Inc. That's BMA 10.2010 Columbus Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts at 2119. And if you want more information, make sure you email chrisGwomack7@gmail.com. Is at the bottom. I did make that correction, so I apologize for that. And if you want more information, also hit Chris up and give him some time to reply back to you. And you guys, if you do send an email to Chris and you don't receive a reply back within 24 hours or whatever the case may be mindful as to what he does. I mean, he does have North Hill Wilson Security Firm, which does a multitude of things with government agencies, educational institutions, which could be schools, colleges, places of worship, parking areas, community events, VIP security. So he could be on a job or on a detail or something like that and may not be able to get to you. However, just send another email saying, hey, Chris, I reached out to you and, this is just I'm just following up with, my response. That's what you do anyway. Like when a lot of you guys have sent stuff out to customer service in any corporation, if you don't hear back from them, you're calling them back and, following up. So do that follow up, because we want to make sure that this Golf Not Guns is an extreme event, especially for kids, for adults. If you come in as one person, it's $150. If you're coming in a group of 4, it's about $600. So make sure that you make your donations and your gifts of service or whatever you want to do to the places down below on the screen, and make sure that your checks are cashable and your money orders we know should be. And if you're sending a cash out, make sure you send it out to chrisGwomack. That's chrisGwomack, and make sure that he gets that. And Chris, you're able. If you want to provide with a phone number, you can. If you want to, I mean, I know you're kind of busy, and a lot of people don't like to give out their phone numbers. However, if you want to, you can. Or guys, just be personable. Email Chris if you want to donate, be a part of it, or if you want to bring something to the table. I don't know what he stands in need of, but guys, go with what God placed in your heart to do. And if you can't make it, we truly understand and we thank you. Okay, Chris, back to you.
I want to say back to even the name. Only people from Pittsburgh would even understand how I came up with the name. Me and my brother Kurt came up with the name. Our family, and when we first were born, we lived in Northview Heights Projects, up Federal Street on the north side, and down up the street from Martin Luther King Elementary School. So that's where you get the north part from. It's the beginning of Northview Heights. Then my family and my mother and everybody grew up on the Hill District. So you got North Hill, and then the Wilk is for Wilkinsburg. And now that I live in Boston, we just closed it off, North Hill, Wilkeston. Then it sounds like it's a universal language. It sounds like you're at Nordstrom Racks or something like that. And so now we're working literally. When you all watch the news about the immigration situation at Logan Airport, my company is the company that is doing the security details for all the immigration. So every time y'all see the world news and the cameras rolling, your brother Chris, Wilkinsburg Tiger, is holding the contract. And we just started a new shelter care site just on Monday. So now we're expanding, and hopefully, ideally, pray to prayer that every time, because the immigration issue is not going away, they open up a site. That would be really nice for us to be able to be contracted, because we could be able to provide a lot of revenue for our people. We even hired some of the immigrants because the governor wanted that. How can we give back to these people in need? And so she wants to incentivize small businesses to give back. And so some of the men that are providing for their families in the shelter care hired them.
Right. So, Chris, share with us some of the skill sets that you're looking for when you're looking to hire people for the business.
Well, you got to be personable, because we don't come like robots like the traditional law enforcement. And so approachable, good people skills. You don't have to be talkative like I am, but be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be able to be alert and attentive. Know the basic things. Where's the defibrillator? Here's a 911 call that has to go out. You should know where those emergency services are, because you're putting yourself in position as a first responder. Be CPR certified. You want to do that anyway for your own household. Be able to notice the signs of stroke and other things that are going on, almost as if you're emergency responder and first responder. These are basic things to just be a good community neighbor. But once you take it into the profession of security, so that people can take you serious in this profession, because oftentimes people, that's this little punk security. Who's that? You're not real. Stop. There are people who have constable license and other credentials that allow them, that literally they can put braces on you and put you in jail. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So that's where a lot of my mediation skills come in. I'm a licensed clinician. I got my master's degree, and I have an MSW. And when I'm not running the security company, I'm sitting down doing family individual therapy. So a lot of those skill sets, I help people de-escalate and realize, even if you think someone's fake security, if you will, fake security, that 40 caliber pistol with one in the chamber is really real, and them bullets will really lift you up off your feet. So it's real smart not to just provoke a situation where you hope the guy that's armed is actually being focused and level-minded. So, I encourage people to just do smart things, especially because I know some people smoke things with synthetic sprinkles on top of it, and they're not thinking real smart. And so I help them all the time. I help them out all the time.
So, Chris, let's talk about some of the things that you've done in school. I want to talk about the youth today, and I want to talk about how you have helped the youth in Boston go to next levels, and also to realize the places that they were in were dark places, and help them get to the light. Let's talk about that when we're talking about ending incarceration and working with proven risk youth, and all those things. Let's talk about that real quick.
All right. Well, back to what I was saying. The one young man that is literally my CFO in running the company, he changed the juvenile justice laws of Massachusetts, where when he was 15 years old, he was charged with a double homicide. He didn't do it, but he was charged with it. And because of his case, it's on the books. It's in the laurels of the law books that you will be charged as an adult in Massachusetts for homicide. The first young man that got charged with that law is the co-founder of the foundation those two started. You can't get more of God's work than that right there. That those two from rival gangs where their friends have murdered each other started a foundation, a community development corporation, all because Brother Chris has been out in front of them, leading by example. All the credentials I went to get is because I came from Wilkinsburg and evolved. And so my evolution, I turn around and help other people coming behind me. I went and got my associates, my bachelor's, my master's. I got certificates from MIT, Harvard, Northeastern. I got so much credentials because I wanted to show people you can come from Northview Heights projects and you can sit in the classroom at MIT and Harvard and excel. And my grade point average is always up there with high honors because I have to learn and retain this information so I can regurgitate it back out to those that are coming from the same beginnings as myself. And so these young men, you have to walk with them. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're grown, they should know better. No, these systems have done a great job on trying the minds of our youth. And my brother Calvin, he's a PhD, smart guy. And Calvin says, systems are designed to get the results that they get. I'm going to say that again. Systems are designed to get the results that they get. So if you listen to the likes of a Dr. Jawanza Kundufu, the conspiracy to destroy young black boys, you see that pattern. I've lived that pattern where by third or fourth grade, you are unplugged and have no desire to show up to a public school classroom. After you do that, you're going straight to a street corner where you'll be labeled and targeted. And that's a good segue into what Ms. Tracy was saying about the pipeline to prison. That's where actually myself and Dr. Umar Johnson first linked up. I was one of the keynotes doing a workshop from how they breed these criminals, if you will, inside the penal system. Inside the penal system, are not servicing them nor having rehabilitation. So I was doing my workshop. Dr. Umar Johnson was doing another workshop. And after we got done with our workshops, I already knew who he was. And I went introduce, and we've been joined at the hip ever since. And that's another one. He may be here on June 3rd too. I always give everybody who knows me personal access to him because when he comes to town, myself and my younger brother are his personal armed security services, and he doesn't even come in and out of town without checking in with me. And he's actually trying to get me to go down and head up to school down in with security, and we're working
Virginia,
on it.
Right? In Virginia?
No. Actually, it's in Delaware. It's in Delaware. The land that he had in Virginia, that's still a big old fight because it's a college. You know, they're not just going to hand a college with all the space that we need over to us. So he's still fighting that. But while he's fighting that, he actually has a compound in Delaware. Brother Chris, everybody keeps saying Johnson took the money. Stop listening to other people's narratives without doing your homework. I went on the campus with my wife, took pictures. I got pictures with me standing in front of the buildings. And just like I need to raise money for the services I'm doing, he needs to raise money for a campus in the middle of Delaware to get the HVAC done, all the building up to code. If anyone knows construction, and me and Ms. Tracy got construction going on right now. Things have to be modernized, and that costs money. Don't criticize the man. Put the money so that we can be able to train and institutionalize, putting systems of success in. I've done it sparingly because of the money issue, but we've had success stories like thousands stood in between individuals with guns, and because of my rapport with them, they won't to. The mayor's office, every time they even have a funeral, they ask me to come to the funeral. I'm not the most beautiful dude, but it's the love of God, and it's the scripture that sits there and teaches perfect love casts out all fear. I love my people.
Amen.
I'm scared of no Negro. Not scared of, and they feel that because you can't reach them if you're scared of them. That's how come Becky and everybody else inside of our public schools scared out their mind to show up to work every day. Them kids don't survive. We're not designed to be in an environment that fears us. We feed off of love. That's how God designed us. And so we want to create those environments. And then back to the golf tournament, that's what it's about. The kids challenged me and they said, Brother Chris, you care about us not going to prison or going to a coffin or a case. but that's you. Are there others? Oh, young fella, there's a lot of us that love you and don't want to see you go in the
Right.
ground or be in the
Hmm.
penitentiary. And watch this, the young gang member, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there, the one who says it. He said, where are they at? Oh, shoot. You're right. Where are they at? I said, come to the golf charity, young fella, and they will be there so that any one of them that you see at my golf charity, you're going to see they love you, they care about you. Don't pull out that gun and have a moment in 30 seconds that cost you 30 years in the penitentiary. And if we come to approach you, we mean you no harm, young fella. We just don't want to see what we already see as the elders and the harm that's going to happen. Because 30 days into a life with
Right.
you will know that you didn't hate that young man that you just shot in broad daylight with cameras rolling. You didn't hate him like that, and you shouldn't have to suffer like that. So,
Right.
oh,
Hey, Chris, I want to talk about COVID, and I see this, and I talk to parents all the time in regarding their kids' mindsets while they're at school. Now, their kids are at school. They were in the schools where it was a one-on-one. You know what I mean, before COVID, and then COVID hit. Now these kids had to be institutionalized in their homes. They couldn't be in front of their friends, so they kind of lost their mouthpiece. And then they were able to go back to school, but they had to go back with computers. So most kids nowadays are computerized. Everything's in the computer, so they don't have that communication language with their peers anymore. So all these kids are on these technology pieces, and they don't really communicate anymore. You know what I mean? So how have the kids in Boston been affected in the ways of COVID, them not being able to have fun with their peers, being out of school, then being turned back to school, but on the computer. So they're really not having that one-on-one with their kids. How have Boston children been affected?
well, I'm gonna say not only Boston, it's worldwide. The same. I
Yeah.
don't care where you at. Come into a town near you. When there's a part of socialization that helps you be a healthy human being. You need healthy
Mhm.
interaction with other people. Let's go to the practical aspects. And since I said Dr. Umar Johnson, he teaches this in his workshop or his boot camp that certain IEPs aren't being adhered to just legally if you remove we can put a child in an environment with too many kids or none at all. What about
Mhm.
instructions? Everybody's not technologically savvy enough to get on a computer and be able to feel, if you will, the energy and the vibe that a teacher should be providing to a kid.
Mhm.
So it was in the name of COVID, but what were the consequences of COVID? You lost a
Mhm.
socialization piece. You and I know we ain't allowed to say ages of women and ask them their age, but you and I are old enough to know when we got a grade for works well with others. You remember that grade?
Right. Mhm.
And that was a grade. They had to monitor how well do you do that because they wanted to see that. If you were homeschooled, one of the biggest challenges was will this child be able to participate in groups with others, get along in a healthy
Mhm.
and positive manner? Those was grades that allowed you to see if you made basic milestones in life, and that was always the conflict of home tutoring and where you socialize. All right, well, if you're now institutionalized, let's go to the health aspect mentally. Mentally,
Mhm.
quarantining is for sick people.
Right.
What do we believe is the side effects of quarantining healthy people? Come on. What? That's just basic. That's basic biology. That's just basic health and nutrition. What are going to be the side effects? We are the guinea pigs for 20 years from now. They will look back and see what are the side effects from sitting there, fragmenting and taking away social touch. All the way to hugs were taken away, intimacy was taken away, all that personal stuff that you need. And science book speaks to everything to back. You know how everybody wants to Google and fact check. Go fact check the power of socialization and why, as social beings, that's why a lot of the kids get into the gangs because that's their new society, their new group
Mhm.
to be a part and want to be a part of for their validation, whatever stage of development they're in. The schools know that, these systems know that, and that's why back to what you were saying, the pipeline, the prison, that we study these systems, understand these systems, and then we as adults put things in to get people out of that system that keeps producing the highest portion of its citizenship being behind bars, and they looking like our nephews, our cousins, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers. That narrative does not work for us, and we need to do three things. Three things we need to do, because you say, well, what's the answer? Because I'm solution based oriented. That's what I do for a living. I
Right.
produce solutions. Like, what are we gonna do about that? You can pontificate the problem forever, but what are you gonna do about it? Three areas. We have to pick our own leaders, just to put the umbrella. We got to pick our own leaders. Stop asking or allowing the other side to pick our leaders. Then, once we pick them, because they're going to pick them for their cause. Once we pick our leaders, you got to get behind them. People like myself, three ways. Politically, if in your town, someone like me, and everybody's town has them, is knowing what to do on the grassroots and have proven solutions in the community. If they tell you what elected official to vote for, vote because they said so. Don't go back and forth when you know they got a track record front. So we got to support one another politically. You ready for the next one? Physically. Whenever you have an answer for brown and black people, this system has a bullet waiting for you. I don't like that narrative. They did it with Malcolm. They did it with Martin. Every time you come up with a solution, oh my goodness, Brother Chris, is that part of the reason why you went and got your own armed security company? Yes, because she didn't get to say it. I ran for mayor of Boston twice. I know Negroes wasn't comprehending what I'm trying to do. But if I put my hands on $21 billion, I promise you, we all going to be all right. But do you think the other side in that system will allow us to go take their 21 or plus $billion to pay the water, light, and gas bill for Boston? You out your mind. They will fly somebody from Northern or Southern Ireland to Boston. They will fly somebody from Italy, because the Irish and the Italians are up here, to lay you out. So I wouldn't have trusted if I became mayor. Blue and whites keeping me healthy. So I started my own security company. They were too. Because we have to protect politically, physically, and now what Tracy is doing, financially. They target you. They castrate you economically so that you cannot have the finances to do the basic things for yourself. You can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay your car note. And I know we have to grow out of the mentality who he think he is if we help him. He's your leader that have an answer from God and God, or righteousness exalts a nation, but sins a reproach to any people. We need righteous leaders in place, not people that they could dangle their secret sins over their head and have no integrity. So if you look on my security brochure, it says service with integrity. So when you give to the golf charity, it's going to be going towards the programs I do in the community with the kids. It ain't going to Chris. It's going to the kids so that we can put the services in place, the integrity, financially, politically, physically. They have to know there will be a real consequence if they put another bullet in the leader that it ain't, we don't want no problem, we don't want no smoke, but we just telling you, we can't keep having a God-given answer and we just let them do anything they want to us. And we definitely have people have to shut their mouth, because they will financially castrate you and cut you off from your source. We could put back, imagine, real quick, this is practical. Even with the protesting young people, put money in your pocket, limited money. Barack Obama showed me this principle. He said, even if you don't have the financial backers that can write $1 million check, but if 1 million people give you $1, it's still $1 million. I said, that's genius. If 1 million people, so with the golf not gun, you don't have to be in Boston to send a dollar. You get on the phone with your auntie, your granny, and everybody else and say, hey, that's our bro. They're a tiger up there doing some amazing things. Let's make sure he's financially good, because he can't never go back into the public school system. He's too smart, and he'll have the lawyers suing all of them for not meeting the needs of our babies. And that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. So we have to get behind politically, financially, and physically to be like, and I told these people up here when I ran for, quick story, when I ran for mayor, they sent armed people in my house. In my house. They don't know I'm really from that lifestyle. Like, I'm good with all that. I'm good with no police, no 911. I'm used to no referees, no foul being called. But y'all don't know that, because y'all only see Brother Chris being positive. Y'all don't know I came a long way. I still got a long way to go. So I pleaded out with my mental health. I said, hey, Don't do that. So I counted my blessings. Thank you, Lord. They didn't shoot nothing in my house. Thank you, ain't none of them
Hmm.
bullets go off, because this would be a whole different webinar if one of them shells would have went off. And you know that. You know. This
Hmm.
one in
Absolutely.
Pennsylvania, that one right there, he is special when it comes to that right there. So I was
Amen.
mature enough to count my blessings and say, thank you, Lord, because of the work I do. I've had rival gang members sit in my car and they don't even raise their voice at each other. Had them live in the same house, in the same apartment, in the same bunk bed, while their friends were murdering one another. That's God's work. Can't nobody claim no credit for that. That's
Right.
God's work. But to expand it, I'm 55. Before I go on the ground, we gotta raise money. We gotta raise money so we can get our farm.
Absolutely. Now, Chris,
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trey.
Chris, I want to visit the music, the art, the music. Not want to say the art of music, but the music and how the music is mentally degrading and mentally challenging our kids to not love each other. I
Yeah,
want to jump on that. This is positive vibes. I want to jump on that for just a moment now.
I
I
got
know, and I know through positive vibes is created to educate people as far as music is concerned, as far as like the megahertz and how the music that the kids listen to challenges them, and not only challenges them, but it also enables them to do bad things and not so smart things. It's the music that they listen to. So what are your thoughts on the music that's being played today?
absolutely. Once again, the system they have in place, learn and study our culture. And in our culture, we look up to basketball players, sports, and entertainers. Whether they're proper role models or have the integrity and character or not, that's how their system sold to our system who we should look after and try to be like. So when it came to music, they saw it. We have enough age with us to go back to the beginning of rap. Rap was like De La Soul and Public Enemy. It was called conscious rap, where you
Mm-hmm.
had, even in our culture, everybody's running around with a collared shirt on. It was a bunch of colors. We had red, rock, and green. You had Morehouse. You had colleges on, and you were about positive and positive thinking. And the rap,
Okay.
it was just a hip hop, hip. It was party music and conscious thinking. Their system caught on to that and said, "Hey, we can use this to weaponize it against the own people since they're."
Mm-hmm.
So what we as a people get caught up into is the beat. We love the yeah, that's my jam. Did you pay attention to the lyrics? No, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, because there's songs long after Tupac is dead that he had questionable, articulable statements about Satan in there that people, after they listen, they say, hey, that didn't sound too righteous. You can go back and
Right.
watch a small video where a grown man already had a skirt on, standing up, peeing out of urinal. Now you see it after Puffy Combs got brought up on weirdo charges, but it was already there. It was because we get into the beat and not the message. Now, people like ourselves who have a spiritual background, Ephesians 6 and 10, and I could go scripture for scripture with the best of them, but I'm just lightening it up for the viewing audience. Ephesians 6
You
and 10
don't
tells
have to.
that
You don't have
we wrestle not against flesh and blood, against principalities and powers, spiritual wickedness in high places. There's a national witch that do brouhahas that counsels presidents in this country. That's spiritual wickedness in high places. There are evil systems that let people that you ain't supposed to have in the same room as your child teaching your child. But if you don't understand the spiritual piece behind it, then you won't understand the spiritual piece behind the music, the lyrics, the message that's trying to seep into your spirit. Here's how it works with natural. If it gets into your mind, slips into your spirit, you are who is in your spirit, you will act on what is in your heart and in your spirit. That's what's going to happen. And so they bombard us all day with the same thing. Y'all see it if you watch a Chucky movie. Kill, 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 kill. If that record, kill, 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 just going through your head, after a while, it's going to slip into your spirit, and then you're going to
to.
kill, kill, kill. And speaking of music, I'm staying on target. No one is doing a drive-by with Luther Vandross on in the background. You ain't doing that.
Right. That's true.
In your theme music for killing. You ain't going with old school I'll be sure or something when you get ready to go and tie everybody up in the house. There's the element of sorcery. That's where you get pharmacy or pharmakia, the Greek word for that, where we see our pharmacies. That's where you get that from. When you sitting there smoking, you are getting in tune with the devil. You are going into the spirit realm, and demonic forces are talking to you. But if people don't have their spiritual roots, all that's over their head, Miss Trace. And it says,
Mhm.
the natural mind receives not the things that are of God, for it is foolishness to him because they're spiritually discerned. Our people have lost our spiritual discernment to be able to see
Mhm.
in the music what spirit. I'll give you a basic one. If you want to be depressed, what you do? You turn on the genre of blues. My dog that left me, my baby did too, and now I'm singing the blues. You turn that on for that over. If you want some romantic music, you turn on R&B. What happened to the rap music? If you want to sit there, call women out of their names, objectify them, and make them a piece of property, and take their humanity. See, if you don't see their humanity and in God's creation where they're fearfully and wonderfully made, you can stab. If you ain't an animal lover, everybody call their man a dog. Yo, what up, dog? You'll kick a dog, shoot a dog, stab a dog, unless you want them animal rights lover. You don't care nothing about a dog. But if it's your brother, you ain't supposed to stab your brother, shoot your brother, murder your brother.
Right.
What you supposed to do? There's a code of conduct how you're supposed to conduct yourself with your brother. That's why I push brotherhood all the time, everywhere, to say that's so we can get back to our humanity. And the music is an instrument of Satan to be able to take our babies. And a shameless plug for my daughter, Esoteric A.M. She went back to school, got a 4-year degree in psychology, and 3 with the highest grade point average the school has seen since the 1800s, when they clearly ain't let none of us in there. And she sings with a mental health genre to help out with this generation's mental health. So I told her, not only you can sing with the best of them, you also singing in the genre of mental health. Those are the type of artists we
Mhm.
behind. And that was her project. Esoteric, but her stage name is A.M because she's Alana Marie. And when I say she can sing, that's who you go get a child that got some spiritual roots, and people trying to figure out why am I crying and feeling like I had a religious experience? Because her spirit is right.
Mhm.
God-given gift to sing what we need, not this other stuff that's killing us, but the stuff that's going to help give us life and to get us back to our humanity. So the music is definitely one that, think about this. The only place you can get a neo-Nazi, a gang member, elderly, young, is at a rap concert. Every different walk of life can show up and be under the power of music. They don't do it on Sunday with their churches. They don't do it with their news station they get information for. But through music, it has universal power. Where's that coming from? Glad you asked, Miss Tracy. Satan was the choir director in heaven. He knows the power of worship and music.
Mhm.
He wanted to open up his wing and all of heaven bowed down and worship God. And he said, I like this worship thing. Let me take it. And it even tells us, oh, all of heaven is rejoicing, but woe be unto you, inhabitants of earth, because Satan, as Lucifer, has come down there with all his fury. And he's using his deceptive, seductive gift of music. And he's winning when you sit there and see it with our kids. So again, solution based is now we gotta get some artists that's gonna sing our songs that's gonna be uplifting and conscious, as opposed to we watching people who are positive people get into rap beats with each other and they ain't even built like that. That is goofy as heck. Y'all
Right.
ain't built like that, but because the industry got you getting ready beef, they gonna get an insurance policy on you. You get your top blown off, and they gonna sit there and cash in on the insurance policy, and ain't nobody gonna give you credit for being tough or street in the first place. That is the definition of mental health right there, people. We can't
Mhm.
co-sign. We have to do these things to educate our people and get them to see it's not the beat that you love that got you patting your foot. It's the message that is trying to seep into your spirit. Young man, young woman, old woman, be mindful. Guard your gates, guard your ears, guard your eyes, and definitely don't give strength to it by you rehearsing it like a spell by singing right along with them.
Singing it, letting going into the atmosphere of your house and the atmosphere of your being. And also, Chris, I want to talk about the vibrations of music, because a lot of people don't realize that the vibrations in music has something to do with your mental, your physical, and also how you feel. You know what I mean? You can listen to, there's a vibration that's a high pitched vibration that affects your mind, affects your brain, and affects the regeneration of healthy cells and degeneration of bad cells as well. Okay, Chris. Now, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, I said that's what the kids say. You speaking facts. That's what the kids tell me. Facts. Facts, brother Chris. Yeah, you speaking facts. All that for all the little fact checkers, go check it out. They notice, the industry knows the vibrations that we should be for positive, uplifting vibes, and they know the things that will take you into depression where you don't have enough strength and energy to get up out your bed and brush your teeth. They know.
Not only that, Chris, television shows too. Television shows.
Man. Television show, they got us with the, some people call it the one-eyed devil. Oh, they got us with that. Here's how you know. You're like, I don't want to believe that. Just practical. Go on and leave your TV on while you sleep and wonder why you want to go get some Burger King or McDonald's as soon as you wake up. They got you. They got songs and jingles, get in your spirit, and you don't know why you grabbing your car keys to head out the door to go get something with no nutritional value. It got in your spirit because you weren't guarding your gates while you were asleep. You were vulnerable and you didn't turn off the electronics, and it got into your spirit, and you was in motion to drive your car and go get something with no. They even tell you it's called impossible meat, mystery meat, all that. Y'all still eat it. They even said when Australia got burnt up and they burnt up the koala meat and the kangaroo meat, people was like, but it still tastes good. I was like, whoa. Now don't get into other cultures where Lassie is in trouble because there's cultures that will eat your dog. Don't get into, here go one. I just got to do a shameless plug for. Some people eat that Chinese food, right? I say, okay, here's what it is. They call them baby back ribs. Baby back ribs. When you ever seen a rib of a cow or even a pig, this pig right here? Cut it out, people. You ever notice there ain't no stray cats or dogs in that area? None, zero. And you eating baby back ribs? Just think about it. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to risk trying to figure out mystery meat. They even calling it impossible meat. And people just ain't getting the clues that I don't think you should be eating something called impossible meat. Just if you don't want to research it, impossible meat. I'm trying to get y'all to make sure y'all eat some fruit with some seeds in it. Stop. Yeah.
So, Chris, quick question. Let's get back on Golf Not Guns. So the third annual Boston Daddy Woe Golf Tournament 2024 Golf Not Guns is going to be held again Monday, June 3rd, 2024. Can you give us and it's going to be held at the George Wright Golf Facility. And can you give us a quick little synopsis as to what's going to go on that day and what hotels are around there, so if people want to come and fly in and out of there, the airport, and those type of things. We just want to make sure that people have no excuses as to why they can't show up.
Yeah, it's our T system is so magnificent. Literally, I don't even need a car. There's a bus stop that could bring you from Logan Airport with your golf clubs, drop you off at a stop called Forest Hills. You can get on a bus called the 32. It will drop you off at another bus stop, and it's just a casual walk in the hood because it's one of two public golf courses in the city. Like literally, you wouldn't even need a car if you made it up here. At the airport, as soon as you get off, every hotel from when you want to break yourself all the way down to you want to save and budget is going on. Family members don't have an excuse because I got enough. We grew up on couches, floors, and everything else. Cut it out, people. We're going to sit there and make a pilot, and we all going to be all right because you're sitting there coming to, I ain't have no stop. Where we come from, there's a reason why we say brother and family. Any tiger that came to town We are obligated with the unspoken rule. We supposed to look out for each other as soon as you arrive. If I go to a town near any tiger, a tiger gonna make sure they put me on with the resources I need. That's just how we grew up in Wilkinsburg.
Right.
It's gonna happen. So it's the same way up here. So you got Garden Inn Suites, Resident Marriott, and all you got to do is just see what is closest to. I even want to have a couple. Once again, money. If I had the money already up front, then I already would have at least a couple rooms with 4 beds and all that, where everybody could just sit there and be in the rooms and be, to do what they need to do and be held down for a couple of days while they up here. So it's very convenient.
Speaking of money, Chris, what's the deadline for what's the deadline, the registration deadline? Because I'm sure, like all registrations, the prices right now are $150 for one, and for 4 it's going to be $600, and it's getting close to the date. We have about a week and maybe a day or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
There's a deadline.
I'm saying send your donation. All that, I'm going to do it or the day of. Why? Trophies can't get made the day of. I need to pay for the trophies right now. Food has to be ordered. Register so I can know how many people we got to feed. It's a catering service, people. And most people that don't know the underpinnings of what's going on, they wouldn't realize things have to be taken care of. Like she just said, you got to get hotel rooms for people being accommodated for coming out of town. So if you're coming from North Carolina, Jersey, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, New York City, we got several states and people, California, going to be pulling up. Have the hotel rooms already available, already blocked out, and then transportation. If you come up here and don't have transportation, now we got a shuttle with somebody with a 3-passenger vehicle that's going to pick you up and bring you there, where you're not even inconvenienced with that, with having to take an Uber or a Lyft, because somebody's going to operate like family and make sure that you get around, including we're going to do a little tour so you can see some of Boston if you've never been here. All that's going to work. Send the money now so that all the trophies could be sitting there and we ain't scrambling trying to make sure everybody's gonna get a trophy, and they're nice too. If anybody knows me, I don't do nothing cheesy, so that ain't my style. that ain't my style, cheesy. So everybody's gonna have, for the very least, gold medallions that have golf, not guns. I wish I'd have grabbed one out the garage so you can see them. Beautiful, weighty, make you think that you went to the Olympics and got something for real. They're absolutely stunning. And then trophies, everybody compete for something, and for giggles, you're always going to get something. And then I got placards that people get. So that's how the day look. Early in the morning, I got 2 people. I may have Irvin Fryer, who used to play for the New England Patriots. His son, Irvin Jr., his nickname is Bubba. He didn't go to the pros and follow his dad, but he teaches golf and getting people into the health and fitness. I got him. Nephew, could you come up here and for the first half hour, for someone who's never touched the golf club, because that's other people's excuse. Well, I didn't play golf. Has nothing to do with if you play golf or not. 2 things that are going on. You're showing up and modeling for young people how to be frustrated, disappointed with something, and you manage your health where you ain't cussing, breaking golf clubs and all that, so they can see how they should handle in real time, real life struggles. You're going to model that as an adult. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you. Second thing, if you don't like golf, it makes it even more apropos because we're teaching young people. The only reason why I came, because I don't even like golf, only reason why I donated, because I support Brother Chris. Oh my goodness. Are we going to model that for positivity for these negative kids? They hang out with their friends. They support each other, even if they happen to go to jail. How about the positive people model the same thing? So because you don't play golf, but you show these young people, I only supported this man because I don't even like golf, because I'm supporting him in the things he's doing to better all of us. That's why I said it's not a Boston thing. We want to cookie cut this. Come to a town near you where we can raise scholarship money so we can stop having our babies for hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That people who can't get a job because of their felon, we could pay for their slot, but then they could go give a service back to the community because we got enough money to pay them. We could get people into mental health because they are not right in their mind, and you definitely have to be right after you just spend decades in the penitentiary. So the first part is some brief golfing lessons. Even one of the young people from the neighborhood, he teaches at the local golf course, he's going to show up. Afterwards, everybody will have a whole assignment, which is if ideally 36 teams show up, right? Already word of mouth, they already did it. 36 teams, we have to give you on the board where you're going to start. So if you start at 18, you finish at 17. If you start at 1, you know you won't finish at 8. But you need to know so everybody could go at the same time, start at the same time, finish. So afterwards, we'll do the award ceremony and for the other things that other people will be recognized for what they do in the community. They'll get rewards and get celebrated publicly. And then we're going to ride off into the sunset, see you next year, and do the same thing all over again. But what we hope to do is raise enough money where we reinforce what was going on with the Daddy Woe charity in Pittsburgh. Ain't no way in the world it's not supposed to be going on the highest level in Pittsburgh, and I'm not going to speak on that. Things happen. But then we want to go to North Carolina. We want to go city to city where Daddy Woe's children are and make sure it's, even if it's not to honor Daddy Woe per se, he's the impetus behind why we have a desire to introduce this Horizon Broadening event, which is golf, because he put golf clubs in our hand. And if we had took him serious, we probably could have been Tiger Woods before there was a Tiger Woods. I could play golf right-handed and left-handed because my dad was right-handed. We grew up in poverty.
Well, Chris, let me say this. Let me say this. And now you're saying Daddy Woe's children. Now we're not just talking about, and I know this because I lived it. We're not talking about Daddy Woe's children, the birth children. Daddy Woe has birthed, just from my knowledge, at least about 50 to 100 kids in Wilkinsburg, and probably more than that. So we're not just talking about blood. We're talking about those who know Daddy Woe, those who have come up under his wing, those who have sat on the porch, those who are at HP, those who, when he was out at the football games, all of those people and all. If you guys can go, let me say this, and some of you guys may not like this, but I'm gonna keep it real. If you guys can spend $100 to $150 to go to a concert, or $200, $300, $400, $500 or whatever to go to a concert in wherever area that you go to, you can spend $150 to come to donate and come to this golf event for in lieu of Daddy Woe. And just on the agenda, if you guys hadn't seen the flyer, it starts at 8 o'clock. People, it's 8 o'clock to 8:45 is the registration. The clinic starts at that time. The shotgun start for 100 golfers is going to be at 9 o'clock to 12:30 p.m. Then lunch is at 12:45 to 3 p.m. for those who hadn't seen the flyer. So I want you guys to get engaged, get the $150, and some of you guys are spending $150 on tennis shoes. Oh, did I say that, Chris?
Did that come out loud? Grown man mess around say my sneaker game is all that, but you in the rears with your child support. Cut it out. I'm not impressed with none of that. Handle your business with your babies. Oh, well, you don't know my baby mama. Forget your baby mama. Get yourself together enough that you put your baby under your roof, grown man. Oh, I need help with that. That's why we trying to raise the kind of money to even help you with that. Because statistics tell you they will be way better adjusted when they under the roof in the tutelage of their father. And if you don't have the parenting skills, now you come back and Brother Chris makes sure he builds you up with your parenting skills too, so that you can be a well-adjusted human being, so you don't pass your trauma onto your child, and all we call it is generational knucklehead and trauma being shared with the next one. We got to break them cycles, people. It's over. We are all we got. We all we got. Thanks, you put tears in my eyes when you said my pops, because my pops and my moms was really Big Mama's house. They raised the whole neighborhood, the whole hood, literally, not figure of speech, the whole hood. There are people, because so many people came in my house. It was a rough environment to come to 1602 Cold Street. It was what it was. If you was a young lady, somebody was trying to get in your clothes. It wasn't right, but I'm just telling you what it was. So we started hearing grown people say, yo, my mother told me I wasn't allowed over your house. I said, that is amazing. Your mother told you, because it was just regular living for us. But when it comes to Karen and Calvin Womack, they literally were gifts from God, bigger than us. That our parents wasn't our parents. Our parents were the parents for the hood. My mother had a cowbell, and she would ring the cowbell at the football games. Every star that ever went through Wilkinsburg wanted to hear Mommy Woe ring that cowbell. Mm-hmm. They wanted to do something so exciting that Karen Womack was going to ring that bell. And Daddy Woe can't hoop then, and he can't hoop now, but he was undefeated for almost 18 years coaching basketball, and he knows zero about basketball. But he was a father figure to the hood, and he had Hills, Homewood, Hill District, all of us on one team looking out for each other like brothers. Pittsburgh wished they could gather neighborhoods like Daddy Woe did and put them all in his station wagon. Put them in his station wagon. Put them in and drove it. And they all came and knew they was safe once they under our roof, and nobody gonna bother you. I don't care if you punch somebody in their face the day before. Once
you ain't gonna be hungry. You're not gonna be hungry.
It's gonna be some peanut butter and jelly, biscuits. At that time, I used to eat pork. It ain't right. Chipped ham, like mountains of chipped ham. It's gonna be there. We're gonna run across the Carter's corner and get him to just cut us a pound. Daddy Woe was the one who taught us. Stop going down Angelo's and get the steak and cheese, and then in an hour you hungry again. Go get a loaf of bread and go get some chipped ham and make sandwiches. And we up there running our own lunch program because everybody running in there because there ain't no facility. So if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to go over to Womack's house because you can't make it home.
Right. Especially if you're up there in that corner anyway.
Oh no. It's Hills. Like you gotta make a grown decision if you're thinking about going home. For the most part, once you're there, because them Hills, only Hills let you out. You down in the valley. You gonna stay there. You planning on staying there and drinking off a water fountain or drinking off the bottle. I know it just probably disgusts a lot of people, but we share bottles together. We did. We just turn it up right behind our man. Stick our little unhand sanitized hands in a bag of quarter chips and eat right behind each other. We did it. I know.
And the thing about that too, Chris, is nobody got sick.
Woo!
Nobody got sick.
Because we didn't have no vaccines that broke down our immune system. God made our bodies, if we stay active and we always athletes, to fight off everything. It's just amazing. Ate garbage, but because we moved and exercised, back to your socialization piece, and that was real smooth how you did that. Because we were socializing, interacting, it kept our bodies fighting off all types of diseases. Even all the people who was playing catch a girl, kiss a girl, exchanging spit, it still didn't get you sick when you was exchanging spit while you practicing on somebody else.
You know what, Chris? I talk to my son and I talk to kids. I talk to kids all the time, and I tell them about how we didn't have buses to go to school, and it didn't matter if it was like 4 inches of snow, 5 inches of snow, 6, 7, 8. We was at school.
Yep.
Didn't matter. We was there. And now when it gets a little dusting or if it was raining hard, they were canceling school. I'm like, I walked from probably about 2 to 3 miles to get to school, depending on where we lived at. And it was cold, but we was there. There may have been like a 1 hour delay, maybe. I can't recall too many of those, but
we ain't getting no delay. We didn't have nothing going across channel 2 or channel 11 talk about there's a delay in Wilkinsburg. That didn't happen.
It was closed.
No. Poor people's parents already beat us out the house. My big brother Calvin had to wake us up. Everybody had a line like we in the military to get there, and not going when Daddy Woe grew up as a sharecropper from Alabama. You're going to take education serious. You're going to do that. It's not an option. And then even if we acted up in school, we better act up in such a way and don't get back home to Calvin and Karen, because you are in trouble. You're in trouble. We ain't fear the police. We fear them too. We ain't want that smoke if you had to go back home because you acted up in school. So you don't see no suspensions, even though I did a whole bunch of stuff. You'll see no suspensions on my record because I ain't want that smoke from Calvin and Karen Womack, who, as she said, raised the whole community. Families with an S on the end will testify of their interactions personally. The sound counsel, advice, encouragement from that. And that's why we choose to use this tool of golf to do something, because that was always my pop's love, and it shows it with me. I ain't into golf ball like that. My dad was. And so in order for me, if I'm sitting there honoring governors, invited to the White House with these other people, no way in the world I would ever honor any of these people, I don't care what their title is, over my mother and father. That's not going to happen. I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that.
Yeah, but Chris, one of my moments, I remember, I don't know if I was either down there or going to Carter's or whatever. I can't remember, but I do remember vividly your dad in golf shirts, his golf pants, his golf, his club, his big gloves. And I remember him having on some white shoes. I remember that. And I was like, wow, I didn't know he was golfing. And this was at the time where they was teaching us golf in high school.
Well, you got to remember, we went to one of the last schools that had trades. You had golf, you had wood shop, you had auto mechanics, all of the trades. I'm doing that too, people. So you say, where's your money going? A trade school. I just graduated my first group of 20 young men.
Wow.
I put 2 in, but the first graduating class went through with training in the trades. That's where you hear trades not triggers. Training in the trades, where men returning home from incarceration came in. They need sponsorships. They don't have the 10, 12, 15,000 it takes. Now we're adding CDL training, where I got another black man that's teaching that. So that we can, if we get the sponsorship, training in the trades, we can sit there and get them into the CDL license, things that could make a living wage for our men, so they could be have dignified living wages and be able to take care of their families. McDonald's ain't gonna do it. That's nice to keep saying go get a McDonald's job. You can't even pay rent with McDonald's job. You can't. It's forcing you to think about hustling on the side and then put you right back in harm's way, where they sit there and grab you up for a 50 bag of weed and treat you like you a major cartel or something for something that could have been your personal. But that's a system, people. Stop networking to feed their system, and we reprogram our minds to do things just like this. As Tracy was saying, it's been forever I've been saying, I'll do it. I'll come on your show. I'll be on all types of shows and radio shows. But watch this. Ain't nowhere in the world I wouldn't go get on Tracy's show before somebody else's. I told her, yeah, other people, get your checkbook out, all of that, because all that celebrity stuff that y'all know about, oh, no, y'all got to pay for that. Not my sister. Hey, what you want to do? You want to do it? All right. Show me how to do it. I'll get on camera. Let's go.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. There was a lot of information. Chris, I'm hoping that, from this broadcast, which is, it's broadcasting live now. It's on your Facebook. It's on your Facebook wall, on my Facebook wall. I'm going to put it on my YouTube page. So for those who missed this show, you can also see it on the Positive Vibes with Trelu's YouTube page. Coming tonight. You can watch the replay. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do decide to donate or whatever the case may be, I want you to hit Chris up on his Facebook page. Let him know that yours is coming. You could send a couple of golf clubs in the air or whatever you want to do to in his chat, and let him know that you are supporting what he do, because I feel like this is a very amazing event in lieu and with the love of Daddy Woe, and for all those that he touched, which I know are hundreds of kids that he touched, and for those not just up at HP, but throughout the whole entire Wilkinsburg, Hill District, Northside, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'll say Western Pennsylvania, because I know he knows people from all over Pennsylvania and beyond. Make sure you guys come and support this, Chris. If you can leave somebody right now, one of the teenagers or young men that are struggling with school right now, that is in a place where he feels like he wants to throw in the towel, he feels like he wants to quit school, give me some words or let some words flow from your spirit to those kids or children that are watching that will help them to identify their purpose in school and why they should remain in school. And if they don't feel it and if they don't have that communication with their parents, what's some words of wisdom that you can give a child today?
All of y'all, we want to destigmatize getting some help for our mental health. Don't suffer in silence, because our culture teaches us, ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't crazy. And then you're going to tell yourself, I ain't crazy. I ain't nothing. Because we've been so accustomed to fighting and pushing back. We get it. I see it with single mothers. You so fearful that your son gonna go out the streets and be a thug, you actually push him in the streets, stressing him, beating him down. A good little dude, you're gonna be just like your no good daddy. Ladies, mothers, parents, I can say it, I'm gonna do it on behalf of little kids. Shut up sometimes, because you driving them to their anxiety and depression with your mouth. I get it. I think it's for you too, because we need holistically for everybody go get their mental health together. So before I could get to the kids, I got to go to the environment of the home, because if we doctor on them and get them back and they get the coils uncoiled and straightened out, but you're going back to that chaos and that drama, and it ain't her fault. Ain't nowhere in the world I would ever blame the victim. It ain't their fault if they have not mastered certain skills with no playbook or no blueprint. So now we're here with a challenge before us. We have to do it as a community. So young person, if you got anybody that you can trust, just somebody in the school, how you going to do it? God will put it in your heart, young fella. Young lady, he'll put it in your heart who you can trust that ain't no weirdo that's going to touch you, put their hands on you and all that. Go to that person and tell them how you feeling. They will be able to, if they need to pivot and push you onto a better professional. But what we don't want is for it to just sit and stew on the inside. That's where it erupts later on. It's called a root of bitterness. When you suppress and push down your anger, don't hold on to that. You wasn't designed to hold it in your body.
Amen.
That's why you get headaches, strain,
Chris,
and everything else. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You went muted for a second. Go ahead. Say it again.
Well, Chris, thank you for that. You know what? Also, Chris, I want to say something real quick. Chris, what if there's a young man? Because since I do some mentoring to kids, and they don't have any parental guidance or anything like that, what can we do to help them, or how can I help get a child there?
You already gave the answer. You got to be the next daddy woe and mommy woe. You got to be the surrogate parent. That's who we are as a people. We are a village communal people. That's who we are. The elders sit around the village and pass the information through oral traditions, how it's supposed to go. We have to step in there, and especially if it's church folk. Come out from behind your four walls with your good, healthy self, but you got to go interact in the hedges and highways. So the young people that you do, that's why we have to multiply. I'm trying to, right now, my staff is in a meeting to set up and design a mental health clinic so that we could take whole Pop Warner teams, like the Hornets, for instance, and each one of them will have groups, therapy groups, so they ain't just learning how to hit, be hard, and physical, and then they're going straight to the block to be killers on somebody's corner. No, grown folks. Let's get some mental health with the physicality, put it together. Now they're getting groomed to be, and they need the help of adults. Parents, mothers, we need parents to support groups with mothers, especially single mothers that know how hard it is. Go get another single mother so she don't think she's the only one dealing with this struggle. Fathers that's having tough time with getting to their kids and all that, go start a support group so that you could be able to get your mental health support to keep oxygen in you so we can get to our babies. With our babies, y'all have to listen to that voice. Go get an adult. It's okay. We got to make the culture of getting help for the trauma we living in with no days off. We have to make that. And so mentoring is part of it. I got a shameless plug. It's coming. I hope Netflix or HBO Max takes on. I did a documentary with the young man I was talking about, and it was talking about the power of mentoring. And so we're at Emerson College, which is like the Harvard of film school, and they're shopping it around right now to see if we can compete with Power and everybody else if they take on this documentary.
Well, amen. Well, we're gonna make sure, Chris, you keep us posted. You can tag me in and post it on my wall. Do whatever. We want to make sure we support you, Chris. And I'm praying that my schedule will be freed up so I can be there on Monday, June 3rd. We're gonna see what God will have for us. And I thank you for coming on the show.
Bring your camera and your little podcast thing. Just take the show on the road. And then again, what I was gonna do when Doc is there, some of these other people, I'm like, yo, just because I said so, y'all got to go over and do an interview with my sister. Well, that's your sister? Yep, that's my sister. And now that's what you're going to do, Doc. You're going to do an interview with my sister because she's here and that's what she do and that's what you're going to do. Oh, my goodness, no problem. Where your sister at? Right over there. We're going to set y'all up over there so the noise ain't in the background, and then we got you. That's it. That's easy. That's what I'm talking to. Chuck Hearing. Yep, Chuck Hearing, all of y'all, because all my little Wilkinsburg people, president of our most likely to succeed. Chuck, tell all the little Tigers, because you keep in touch with the alumni, everybody sponsor one. Each generation that was in that high school at the same time, everybody just get one. 50, 50, 50. Do it right now. Send it right now so I can pay for the trophies, the food, and the hotel space. Send it now. As soon as you know what I was going to do it? This is the light switch went on. Do it now so that the money can be in place and that it'll be.
Just bless on this thing, Chris. We're gonna make it happen.
Oh yeah, this right here is part of it. This is God's work. That out of all the time, the timing came to just reinforce what was already going on. And I'm thankful. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Appreciate the listening audience. And I don't get to speak to a lot of y'all. I know a lot of my Wilkinsburg brothers said, love all
You're
y'all.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. We had Chris Womack talking about Golf Not Guns event Monday, June 3rd. Registration is now. Get your money in there now. And what's today? Today is what, Friday. By Sunday, I want to see at least, I want to see at least 1,000. I'm looking for at least 1,000 to be registered by Sunday. At least 1,000. Come in your groups of 4. I'm speaking it into existence. This thing is going to be a sold out event. And so that we can look forward to doing it next year. And then not only that, we can look forward to coming into the place that you are coming, bringing it to North Carolina. There's a couple of golf courses. As a matter of fact, there's a golf course about 5 minutes away from me right here. So looking forward to coming to North Carolina, and we support you.
Yes. Put it down there, Trace. Absolutely. We got the trophy.
Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
All right. Thank you. That's it. And let's do it again. And,
all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Amen. God bless you.
God bless. All right. Peace and blessings, Trace. Appreciate being on.